Imagine Brene Brown sitting in a tiny cafe in Austin, Texas, clutching a beat-up journal filled with raw sketches of shame and courage. She's wrestling with a simple yet terrifying thought. What if imperfection isn't a problem to solve but a gift? That moment, the fork in the road between hiding and wholehearted living, sets the stage for everything you're about to hear, and it's about to turn your understanding of self-worth upside down. Let's start where Brene starts, embracing vulnerability not as a flaw but as the door to real courage. Skeptical, you won't be by the end. Early in her journey, Brene describes a therapy session where she confessed her shame about never feeling good enough. The therapist's gentle reply: "Shame is the most feared emotion, but you don't have to carry it alone." That moment stuck with her, seeding her quest to flip shame on its head, turning it from silent prison to breakthrough catalyst. Think vulnerability like lifting weights for your emotions. Just like muscles, vulnerability grows stronger only when you expose it to challenges. Instead of hiding your imperfect self, you invite discomfort, flex courage, and build resilience. Over time, that emotional muscle lets you carry the weight of authenticity without breaking. The punchline: choosing imperfection means stepping into a life where fear isn't erased but danced with. Brene shows us living wholeheartedly isn't comfort's cousin, it's courage's partner. Embracing flaws unlocks freedom and connection instead of isolation and numbness. Now, Brene gets real about the toxic tapes we all replay. Never good enough, never enough. She calls out the lies that throttle gratitude and acceptance. Brene recalls a slide from a conference where she showed a photo of herself frozen mid-laugh, but labeled it laughing but feeling fake. That tension between appearance and inner voice, that never enough whisper disguised as motivation, actually strangled her joy and blocked authentic connection. Picture comparison like quicksand. The harder you struggle to be better than others, the deeper you sink into dissatisfaction. It's a mental trap that robs you of presence. Brene exhorts us to swap comparison for curiosity, watch your thoughts without judgment, and step out before the quicksand pulls you under. And here's the kicker. Neuroscience proves practicing gratitude rewires your brain's reward centers. By intentionally naming what's good, even small wins or human kindness, you weaken the never-enough circuits. Gratitude becomes a powerful muscle against shame-fueled scarcity. Brene turns the microscope on relationships, how shame derails closeness, and how wholehearted living rewires our connection circuits. During a research interview, Brene met Marie, who described snapping at her kids after social rejection, lashing out fueled not by anger but a searing sense of shame. This invisible wound shapes behaviors, turning closeness into battlegrounds. Recognizing shame's role in relationships was eye-opening for Brene's work. Empathy is a strange beast, feels simple, but requires stepping into another's messy world without judgment. Brene compares it to standing under someone's broken umbrella with them, not fixing it, but sharing the rain. This shared vulnerability creates a bond sturdy enough to weather shame storms. What's wild is vulnerability isn't a sign of weakness here, but the oxygen for connection. When you dare to be seen imperfectly, it flips a switch that invites others to be real too. That's how love grows beyond the surface. Brene's manifesto unfolds what it actually means to live wholeheartedly and how it's less about perfection, more about presence. Brene describes waking each day choosing practices like gratitude journaling and saying no to people-pleasing. Wholehearted living isn't a destination. It's a collection of messy, small acts that over time build a life where imperfection isn't the enemy but the rule. Boundaries get a shout-out as the secret sauce. Imagine a cozy fence around your emotional garden. Without it, weeds of resentment and overwhelm creep in. Brene argues that saying no doesn't make you a villain. It makes you real, protecting your energy for what matters. The surprise: joy and gratitude become radical acts in a world obsessed with achievement and perfection. Brene shows that choosing to bask in simple pleasures isn't indulgence. It's rebellion against fear and scarcity, opening the doorway to wholehearted living. Here's the big reveal. Imperfections aren't just tolerated, they're the very gifts that craft our unique stories, strength, and joy. Brene shares a story of a speaker fumbling her lines at a conference, heart-pounding, but choosing laughter over retreat. That moment became a turning point for her audience, signaling that flaws aren't errors, but authenticity's loudest stamp. Imperfections tell the world you're real. Shame tells stories of unworthiness, but Brene offers self-compassion as the antidote. She compares it to being your own gentle coach during dark times, whispering kindness instead of criticism. This shift rewires you at the root, replacing lies with love. Finally, Brene reveals that living imperfectly unlocks creativity like nothing else. When you stop policing yourself, your mind explodes with fresh ideas, risk-taking, and joy. Perfection kills possibility. Imperfection births wild freedom. Remember Brene in that Austin cafe, notebook in hand, grappling with shame and courage? Now you've walked through the gift of imperfection with her. The next time you catch yourself shrinking from flaws or fear, try this. Pause and name the shame silently sneaking in. Then, breathe out a tiny "I'm enough" and lean toward the discomfort. Each time you do it, you're training your emotional muscle, rewiring gratitude, and inviting real connection. Imperfection isn't your mistake, it's your invitation to live wholeheartedly. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.